Good morning, everyone. It's Cobalt. Welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna give us just a few seconds to look around, see what might have changed. Maybe it rhymes with background. Yeah, I finally put up the shelves, and bless thee, I measured correctly. I decided I just want to put them to the top. Now, yes, I measured correctly. Here's the totally top of them. So I bought 2 shelves, so I used half and half, right, to get the 4, and moved the shelves so that I could put 3 on top. So I had an extra 6 boxes per shelf. The shelf over here, this black one, you can see a partial of Shamu right there. That actually used to exist on this wall that I don't think I've ever shown you. The secret wall. It's where the exit is. So I moved that over here, and I originally did that because I was going to turn the 2 over here sideways and then add 2 and make like half the room be shelving. But then I remembered these shelves are actually different size than those 2 shelves, and I also don't want to take up half the room, and what I really want is the original plan of building up. So I have done that, and also it was the path of least resistance. I realized that I'd have to like move things down, take all the books out, build the shelves. I'd also lose half the space, and I was just like, you know what, this will work as long as at least for right now, the shelves are weighted at the bottom, which the books are providing. And yeah, I love it. I'm just like, yes, I did it on Saturday night. They are a little bit dicey in that what I didn't really think about was they're boltless shells, right? They come with like a top and a bottom, and they have these like, I think they're called like fasteners or something. They form the bottom to the top. Well, I'm using 1 shelf in 2 places. I only had 4 fasteners. What I did was I just anchored the fasteners in the corners. So like think of 4. I did like 1 and 1. So each one has 2. So technically like 2 of the bars are just sitting on top of each other. I think it's working because boxes themselves are pretty light. I do plan on going to the hardware store eventually and seeing if I can just buy the fasteners. So I realized, you know, now that I measured correctly, I could very well do the same with the 2 over here. And I could easily put my 4 boxes right here just in a stack. It's just a queue anyways. I don't need to like access them, just like grab from the top, put it on the bottom, you know. So anyways, I feel like that really took off a mental load by just solving for the shelves. I know I spent a few calls last week figuring that out. Another thing, I'm like 85%, which is pretty good, decided on what to do about listings. I am going to bring it to my call tomorrow, just see what they think. I ran the numbers this weekend, and I found out that my store, based off of my current sell-through rate, which is 34% for a 90-day period, I can afford up to 8 listings a day. 6 listings will get me to my first financial goal. With eBay and Rover, I'll be able to cover my bills. Now, I was successful in the first month, January, in doing that, but it was tight. So I want to increase the eBay side a little bit, and that's the goal for February. I want to pull up from eBay 1,600, and then Rover will supplement the rest of that. I think my like burn rate right now, that's a tech term, by the way, is like roughly $3,000 a month. Rover is kind of locked in on how much I can make. It varies a little bit because like if I have 2 dogs, the cost of the stay is more than having 1 dog. So like there's a little bit of variety, but it's pretty much like maxed out depending on how many days I can get booked. Whereas eBay has that unlimited earning potential. So moving forward, what I would like to see happen is them to be kind of like together paying for my bills, and then slowly I'll just crank up eBay, and I would like to see eBay being like its own individual unit paying for all my bills. That way, in case I'm low on bookings with Rover, like it's not going to matter as much. So that's kind of where I'm headed. I don't know if I finished my listing talk, but to summarize, I can afford with my sell-through rate up to 8 listings a day. So I can do 8 and just crank it in the store. That will make storage an issue. Or I could do 6, which would still get me to my goal of the partial eBay and Rover. And then whatever extra on top of that, like I would scrape the money into a bank account. So I'd have more money to save at 6 than I would at 8 because of cost of goods and expenses and yada yada. So I'm kind of torn on what to do. This month in February, I started at 5 and then I cranked it up to 8 last week, and that's partially why I was so tired. And then I, in the last few days, have done 7. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do is I'm still going to pick up 8, but I'm only going to launch 7 of them and then put 1 in the bank. And if I need to scale that down, I could do 6 and I'm still, safe in terms of income goals. March is going to be really crazy, guys. This transition to more listings has been tough because I've only been able to source 2 days of every week. So like I sourced yesterday for, 6 hours or so. I was shooting for 5 days and I was able to get 3. So today I have a gap from 1 to 5. I'm going to try and fill those extra 2 days. And then I need to be home for the next 5 days because I'll have a dog. Now, I want to stay home for this particular dog because this dog is senior, old, and confused. Like the owner told me, like they might have dementia. So like I want to like really be there for this dog and then just be listing and doing what I need to here and not leave. Now there will be other times in the future where the dogs might be 2-3 years old, are fine being left in the house. Their owner doesn't work from home. So those days I can do a few hours. I'm not going to do the full 8 hours because, I was selected to dog sit for them because I work from home, right? So I don't want to do the full days, but I can still get out a little bit. And that's kind of what it's going to have to be in March because I am booked. Last time I looked, I only have 3 full days available, and that's like the 9th through the 11th, which is crazy. Like it's crazy how booked I've gotten. So the good news is, should things go to crap on eBay land, like I'll be covered via Rover. Don't see that being the case, but yeah, I'm just kind of now sorting through how to go about organizing my day, how to go about picking enough items. I think notching it down to 7 is going to be helpful, especially in March where it's way more busy than expected. February's almost over, and I think I'm just going to do like a video every month where I talk about my numbers openly so you can see how I'm progressing and I can see how I'm progressing. Okay, so what to do with the rest of my day. Today has been very productive. Started around 5:30 this morning. While the call was going on, I was busying around. I had a bunch of items that I had picked up yesterday. So I had to refill my boxes, see where I was at. Even though I got like enough for I think 4 days, some of them were bundles to get to my minimum. So I had to refill my boxes, really visually see where I was at and how many I need to get for today. I also did my like accounting on how much I spent, put that in my spreadsheet. I started taking photos and I also started shipping. So I had a really good weekend. I ended up selling 10 items, which is great. I think my highest before was like 8. Now these are still mixed items. I'm just feeling good. Like the store is slowly transforming into like the vision I have in my head. And I feel more concrete now that I am like just taking action on all of my plans. So yeah, I was able to finish my packing, which by the way, I think that's like one of my driving forces on why I want to scale is because I actually love packing. Like if I had to work for somebody else, I would just try to find a job as a packer. like like I'm the type of kid growing up where, like, you know, people would download different games on their phones. I always downloaded like Diner Dash, which is basically a game where you're a waiter and your goal is to just serve tables. You're not making the food. You're putting people in tables to maximize like their parties. You're managing time, you're managing orders, and you're just delivering food like the entire game. What becomes harder is you get different types of families. So like one person, three people, one with a baby, you know, grandma and grandpa. And I feel like that's what I'm doing now. Like, I have 30 minutes between when a call starts. Okay, let me record this video. Let me finish packing. Let me XYZ. I'm just like time stacking, and there's something so satisfying about packing stuff. Now, one thing I do need to do this week is stock take. Stock take is basically where you make sure that whatever is listed on that shelf is what your inventory system says is listed. And see, there are a few, like the middle shelf here around the row, that is actually like an inch shorter than the rest, just because of where the shelves come together. I had to like move it down. Like these two bankers boxes work because I actually cut it down by like half an inch. But the point is, all of these that are on this row were actually on the row below it. I just need to make sure that, since I did move things around a little bit when I built the shelves, like I need to make sure that the right plush is in the right area, because even though like all the boxes are here, the top maybe 16 boxes are empty. So I need to now stock take, because as I fill the boxes, it's going to become more complicated on like where things are. So yeah, I really need to do that this week. I'm hoping I can also finish taxes this week and just slowly take off my actual to-do list. I have saved a lot of to-dos for things that I can do when I have this senior dog who's going to be on camera, guys, because this dog's like the size of a loaf of bread and I want to eat it. So, yeah, like I have a lot of tasks saved that are senior pup friendly, right? That I can knock out this week. So yeah, it's just about now making sure I'm photoing my stuff in the morning so that when I am at home at night after 6 hours of sourcing, I can just list, and it's much better for my brain. So I'm figuring all this out. I know this video is chaotic. I just bounced around, but it's Monday. Can't blame me. So anyways, I'll just end it here. Thanks so much for coming back to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.